In a previous video, which I'll tag, I went through the context information for the poems in the memory group of the Belonging Anthology for Edexcel GCSE English Literature. Now today I'm going to go through the same thing but with the poems from the Identity group. So first of all, Island Man by Grace Nichols. Now Grace Nichols was born in Guyana and she first published this poem in 1984 in her collection called The Fat Black Woman's Poems. This poem reflects Nichols' own experiences as a Caribbean woman living in London. She moved to the UK in 1977, where she lived near the North Circular Road, a busy thoroughfare that reminded her of the sea surf from her homeland. And think about the quote, dull North Circular roar from the poem. Her work often focuses on Caribbean culture, identity and separation. She won the Commonwealth Poetry Prize in 1981. Now moving on to Peckham Rye Lane by A.K. Blakemore. She was born in Deptford, southeast London, and this poem was written when Blakemore was just 15 years old. The poem won the Foyle Young Poets of the Year award in 2007, and it draws on her own experiences of living in London. The poem is set on Peckham Rye Lane, and this is a bustling street in South London, known for its diverse community and its vibrant atmosphere. Peckham historically was a working class area and has evolved over the years into a multicultural hub, which reflects the kind of blend of cultures and identities and experiences. Now, in this poem, she captures this dynamic environment and she highlights both its vibrancy and the underlying tensions. Moving on to Us by Zaffir Kunial. He was born in Birmingham, had an English mother and Pakistani father. His poetry often refers to identity and cultural heritage. In this poem, he examines the many meanings of the term us. It can signify both unity and division. He talks about language and how it can often have many different meanings. In Wales, Wanting to be Italian by Imtiaz Dharker. Dharker is a British poet, writer and filmmaker. She was born in Lahore in Pakistan in 1954, but she moved to Glasgow before she was 1. She now divides her time between London, Wales and Mumbai. She describes herself as a Scottish Muslim Calvinist, which shows her cultural identity is a real blend. Now, Calvinism is a type of Christianity. Her poetry often includes themes of home, freedom, journeys and cultural displacement. This poem reflects her own experiences of growing up in Wales during her teenage years and wanting to be part of a different cultural identity, specifically Italian. Now, if this so far is useful to you, make sure you subscribe and you can get more content. Next up is Kumukanda by Kayo, Chingonyi. He was born in Zambia in 1987 and he moved to the UK when he was 6. Now the word Kumukanda means an initiation in the Luvale language. It refers to the Luvale tribe and their initiation ceremony for young men. They have to cross a river and once they cross, they are then reborn as men. If they don't complete it, then they stay as children. This poetry collection won the Dylan Thomas Prize for Young Writers. His poetry often reflects the challenges of navigating multiple cultural identities and the impact of these experiences on identity. Jamaican British by Raymond Antrobus. He was born in 1986 to an English mother and a Jamaican father, and he lived in Hackney. He was born deaf, but no one realised this until he was 6. His debut collection of poetry, called The Perseverance, includes this poem and it explores personal experiences such as his diagnosis with deafness and the death of his father and his biracial identity. He has said that poetry was a way for me to just write what my truth is. My Mother's Kitchen by Choman Hardi. Now Hardi was born in Iraqi Kurdistan. in 1974 and she came to the UK in 1993 after growing up in Iran and Turkey. Written in 2004, the poem draws on her personal experience of her family seeking refuge in the UK. This poem was written in the aftermath of the war in Iraq when her parents decided to return. All the different mismatched belongings in the kitchen are symbolic of the lives of immigrants and having to move from place to place. Her poetry often focuses on overcoming adversity and the strength of the human spirit. The Emigree by Rumens. She was born in the UK in 1944 and has published many collections of poetry, often with the theme of love, death, separation, persecution. Emigree is a French word and refers to a female emigree. The word emigree is a version of the word emigrant, meaning someone who has fled their home country, often due to war, oppression, or political upheaval. Though she herself has not been an emigree, she writes empathetically about exile, identity, and displacement. She doesn't name a specific country in the poem, which makes it universal. It could apply to people exiled from places like Russia, the Middle East, or Eastern Europe. Now finally on to We Refugees by Benjamin Zephaniah. Zephaniah was born and raised in Birmingham in 1958. He was a British Jamaican poet, writer and activist. He is known for his performance poetry, as they often have real strong rhythmic influences. His poetry often covered themes of social injustice, and Zephaniah was very outspoken on political matters, including immigration, refugees and human rights. In 2003, he rejected an OBE, saying he was profoundly anti-empire, reflecting his deep opposition to colonialism and injustice. This poem responds to increasing anti-refugee sentiment, especially in the UK and Europe. Make sure you ask any questions if you've got them in the comments.